Since 2012, we have not gone to any major tournament.
We have not.
And we keep getting same excuses. We are watching the Africa Cup of Nations without Zambia for the third time. I personally believe we need change in administration. Kamanga must go.
Well, for me, Kamanga has failed.
He has failed.
He has failed. He has really done a great job in failing. It's so unfortunate for this generation of players that we have to be missing such a huge tournament.
Yes. You know, we have quite a good crop of players that are playing outside Zambia, that are playing very, very good football, but they are watching the Africa Cup of Nations from the TV stand.
Oh, must be sad. Must be sad.
I was asking when the Africa Cup started, is Andrew Kamanga also watching like us, wondering who's going to win the AFCON?
Imagine.
Like, how comfortable are you? Mr. Kamanga, how comfortable are you?
Well, if
sitting?
I was Mr. Kamanga, I wouldn't even dare turn on the TV and watch the AFCON. Because I would really feel sad.
I would expect him to be at the drawing board. He says Zambia is that. He should be at the drawing board, not watching TV.
He should.
Yes.
That's how it's supposed to be. When you mess up, you don't have to even have your food. You don't have to have your meal. You know, you can't sit at the table.
No, you can't. You
hide under the bed, you cover yourself in sheets or something because no, this is
that's too much.
We can't tolerate this. It's unfortunate that we are even talking about such.
It's a bit heartbreaking, and it's not that we're trying to root out somebody in the name of Andrew Kamanga, but you know, we need to see progression. We support different clubs from around the world, and sometimes we get to understand that there's a process, but it's been difficult for us to understand what process this current administration has been following, whether we're improving in our football, whether we're going back, are we trying to groom kids, are we trying to bring in the adults. It's really difficult to understand the path in which we're going, which brings me to the next point. Who can overcome, who can take over Andrew Kamanga? There's Godfrey Chikumbi, someone's very close to Kalusha Walia. He's come out to say he wants to stand as FAZ president, and he's brought in very, very good ideas. He's spoken about how he wants football players to take more of the media role. So like right now, instead of inviting Andrew Kamanga here, you would have Chisambalungu talking about football, giving his perspective on the direction of football, and a number of things that he wants to change. So what do you think in Zambian administration needs to change for us to get back to the Africa Cup?
I think a lot has to change. It starts with the mentality, first of all, from the administration, of course.
Yep.
It starts from right up there. They really need to implement certain things that will translate to the players, and also to the just looking at the local setup. You know, the local setup in terms of the league, how it's set up, how everything goes, and then we can also look at how the national team is set up, especially when it comes to appointments in terms of the coach, the technical bench. I think all of that has to change. The manner in which it is done, for me, seems to just be way, way too outdated.
It's outdated, and it's not so properly clarified, because if you look at these other FAs, they have a direction of football. Even before you bring in the manager, before you bring in the coach and the staff, you as an administration knows what type of football you want the national team to be playing. Are we going to be playing possessive football? If you know the direction of football you want to see on the pitch, then you are hiring the coaches and managers that are able to achieve those particular goals. Exactly. But we've had a couple of managers come through the system who play different types of football. So then brings the question, what kind of football does FAZ want the Zambian team to be playing?
And then you see them blending in, you see them picking a coach from a certain club locally, and then they pick another one from a certain club locally, and then they blend them together, and then they try to, make a technical bench. Which for me just seems to it doesn't gel. It doesn't gel at all.
It doesn't. They've got different philosophies.
Of course.
We have to have a philosophy as Zambia national team. It's really hard. Speaking of coaches, we should be appointing a new coach very, very, very soon. The rumors have it that one of the coaches or the team in the technical bench is going to be picked as a Zambian coach, a guy named Aljosa Asanovic. Should be a Croat. from Croatia, this lad. What do you think? Who would you want to have?
Well, I think for me, Africans, they have this tendency of listening to a foreign manager. For me, that's how I've seen it, and it has actually happened and it has worked. You could see Heverina. He came through. He was in Zambian, of course, French. He came. He did his magic, and not just in Zambia. He went to Ivory Coast, did his magic as well. It's like we felt just, have these local guys like maybe a Pitso Mosemane who would just go through and win a major tournament with a national team. So I think for me, there's just that mentality with African players and just us as Africans, like we tend to listen to these guys from abroad for some reason, and it works. So I hope it works. The only other thing for me, my only worry is the tendency of sacking coaches with maybe a couple of games. He's out the window. A couple of games, it can't work. I think we need a little bit of continuity. Maybe we need to keep somebody for a long term. Yes, and see where it goes. There should be a plan, to say, where is this guy going to take us? Is it the Africa Cup? Is it the World Cup? What's the long term plan? And then keep him. And if he fails that, then sack him.
And I think when setting milestones, it's difficult to set a milestone of a tournament, for example, to say this guy has to achieve this. And I think for the past few years, that's what has been our benchmark. Whether a player or a coach is going to be able to take this team to the Africa Cup, is going to win the COSAFA and the like. But I think we should also incorporate the system and style of play. Is this guy able to make them play this particular way? Because you as an administration believe when they play like this, they are able to qualify in the near future. You are building on to something. But where you're just using milestones of tournaments, it literally unjustifies why Kamanga is still at the helm, because we've missed a number of tournaments.
We have.
So if it's just on tournaments basis, we've got a lot of questions that need to be answered. But we really need to see a system being put in place, establishments on how we're going to recruit, who we're recruiting, how they're developing from their young system, whether it's from the roots, are we incorporating the older players, and that kind of a thing. We need to see a system put in place from whoever comes in. So this lad, like you have said, is a 55-year-old man from Croatia. He played in the World Cup in 1996 and 1998. I think they came out third, Croatia, during that period. So he's got a bit of experience. He was with Slaven Bilic. At some point, he was his assistant for about 6 years or so. So he's got a good CV, decent CV. But again, it still goes back. What kind of football does he bring? Is it the kind of football you want to see in Zambia? Exactly. So you're watching, guys. Let us know what you think. Should Kamanga stay? Should Kamanga continue? Are you believing in the process that Kamanga has brought? If somebody else is going to come in, who do you think should come in? Do you think Godfrey Chikumbi is the right guy? And of course, let's talk about the coach. What do you think about the new coach who is rumored to be the next Zambian coach?
Well, that's a wrap from us here at Pick of the Badge. We hope you enjoy the show. Please, as Manangwa has alluded to, give us your thoughts and your views. We are ready to respond to you. Thank you.